So today we're going to look at a rural piece of property where someone wants to build a home. I think it's got some issues. They think it might have some issues, so they're having me go out, take a look at it. So if you want to check it out, come follow me to the site. Based on the species of trees on your property, on the home site that you're looking for, is going to tell you a lot of different things. Now this site that I've noticed has a lot of red alders. And red alders in my area is indicative of saturated soils. You notice that a lot of these red alders, they tip over. Well, why are they tipping over? It's because the root structure is very weak. There's nothing really holding the tree down to the earth because the soils are saturated in their poor soils. And so as I walk this site, I'm looking for other wetland indicators or indicators that would prohibit building. And sure enough, like I suspected, there's a wetland over here, which is why these trees are tipping over. And also, if you notice, I don't know if you can see it here, look at that tree. Look at all the moss on that tree right there. So that tells you that there's a lot of moisture, a lot of humidity, and then I'm looking at the elevation of the land, and I can see there's standing water about 3 feet below me right here, which means that water is going to travel horizontally and saturate this whole area because it's low. So if you've got a wetland area and you're elevated, your building site's elevated above it, that's one thing. But still keep in mind that there's going to be buffers. Department of Ecology or whatever state that you're in is going to have a regulation regarding the setback. So make sure that your building site is outside of the setback. Keep in mind, the buffer starts at the edge of the water and then travels out. So it's at the outside edge of the buffer. Past that is your potential building site. So you can see the site, there's a little bit of a clearing area right here. But what you want to look for is the high and low spots. So I can see that there's a high spot over here and it kind of slopes down into a lower spot. It sort of flattens out, but when I walk over here, it's actually slightly lower than all of the surrounding area. It's covered by brush, so you really can't tell. So when you're looking at land, it's really, really important that you walk on the property with your boots. Start with the maps, but when you drive to the site, I know it's hard sometimes with raw land, but you have to walk on the land. And you have to walk on it as much as possible. Now, large lots, if it's 10, 20, 50 acres, that's a lot of land to walk on. You better bring water and a sandwich with you. But on a smaller lot, you should be able to walk on over to anything that looks like a feature, a high spot, a low spot, a wet spot, the treed areas, the grasslands, evaluate the plants. In this situation, when I look at this property, this looks like it's going to be a problematic spot for a house. Why? Because that low belly is going to collect water. And you can tell by look at that tree over there. You see that broken tree with the top broken off, and it's got the mossy branches and all of this debris, mossy debris. So I'm going to take a shovel and I'm going to dig in that spot, and I will bet money that I'm going to find water very close to the surface. And so it's a good idea to bring a shovel with you. Do your own soil logs. You don't have to hire an excavator to do that. You can easily dig down a foot, 2 feet, 3 feet, maybe not 3 feet, 1 or 2 feet in soft soil to see if there's any standing water that comes up and then levels off. So if you find an area that you want to build on and it does have surface water, or you dig a test pit and the water's close to the surface, it's not a good spot to build. The septics are going to likely fail, and you're going to have very expensive foundation systems. It's not that you can't build in a low area. Sometimes you can fill it, but there's cost to import the fill, to compact the fill material. The cost of having a raised foundation system oftentimes is better to just pick a different site on the property, or maybe that site is not good for you. So if you'd like to learn more about the system that I use to professionally evaluate land, the entire system, the budget checklists, the budget calculator. The link is in the description below. Go check it out if you're interested.